Here's our reverse grid for race 3 here at Spa. Then we've got the Team 5 promo of the VWs of Sven Lebioda and Nico Clausen blocking out the front row grid. On row 2 we've got Renault Megane of Mark Nicol and Shane McMahon in the BMW M4. Row 3 we've got Calum Baker in the Subaru WRX. They've got the first K-Tech Racing Subaru of Keireen Thomas. Row 4 we've got the Ford Mustang of Mike Kuijpers, and we've got Gary Black in the Subaru. And row 5 we've got Josh Hardy in the Renault Megane, Tom Foster in the K-Tech Racing Subaru, and at the back row of the grid we've got 2 Renault Meganes of Team Parker Racing of Sam Parker and Darren Parker. Here we go then, the last race of the day, reverse grid at Spa. The 2 VWs are on the front row. Can they get away? And away they go, and they bog down. Unfortunately, it's not a good start for the VWs. And it's actually allowed everyone else to get past. Lots of tyre screeching, but everyone's managed to get around. So it's Mark Nicol and Calum Baker fighting up front then. Mark's got ahead. Look how quick everyone goes around that first corner. Calum is on the back of Mark with Gary Black behind him. So, as Calum goes in with Gary behind him, we've got Nico in 4th. He's got a bad start, but he's not doing too bad so far. And there's a freeway tussle there between, there's Keireen and Gary and Nico. And Nico, as you can see, is struggling for pace. Just doesn't seem to be anywhere near on board with all the other cars. And already Mike is pushing him for 5th. Shane at the back there, nearly losing control. There's Josh, who's on the back of Mike Kuijpers in that Ford. It looks like he's easily going to get past Nico. Whoa! A little bit of lag there, but Josh aggressively going past the VW. And here comes Keireen on Gary. These two have been fighting this whole event, and they're at it again. Oh, there's a 3-way tussle now between the Subarus, and Shane goes slightly wide there. And Keireen's managed to get ahead of Gary and Calum. So Calum and Gary are going to be going side by side as they go into Row Rouge. Oh look, there's Josh. He manages to get past them. I think that tussle between Gary and Calum has allowed Josh and Mike to get past. And here comes one of the Renaults as well. Yeah, that's Sam. Sam's got ahead of Calum now. Calum goes down to 7th. Look how quickly Nico is dropping down the grid. He's struggling in that VW. And there's Tom on the hard tyres, and he's managed to get past Nico. I don't think he's going to get further up, more up than this, and he goes actually wide on the hard tyres. So Tom is going to really struggle with those hards in this race. Let's look up at the front then. And Mark Nicol is still leading. Oh, a bit of a push there by Josh. And Josh is already looking to take the lead away from Mark here. Two Renaults, but very, very different setups. Whoa! Keireen goes way wide into the corner, outbrakes himself. Let's reset him back on the track. Back in sixth behind Mike and behind Darren. Oh, who's that? That is Sam Parker. Sam spun round. Now, we don't know what happened there. We only just saw Sam spin, but we don't know if there's any other cars involved or if it was Sam spinning on himself. So we'll have a little look at a replay now and find out what happened to Sam. Let's watch from Ranksman and see what happens with how he hit the Renault. So he actually allowed Sam ahead of him after his penalty, and as he's going wide, it looks like he's just pushed him out. Sam has spun on the curbs. Let's have a little look from Sam's perspective. A little bit of a push there. Yeah, there's the contact, and you see what it did in the end to Sam's race. Yeah, so Sam was pushed wide and spun out by Gary Black, unfortunately. So Gary will most likely be looked at by the stewards to see if they're going to give a penalty to Gary for that. And in my opinion, I think he will most definitely get something for that move. Whether it's a harsh penalty or warning, we don't know yet. It's Tom in 7th then, so he's managed to gain the positions up by where Sam spun out. And he's got Calum behind him. But Tom isn't looking all that quick on the hard tyres. Further up, Keireen. Kieran's gone wide as well. So now we've got a fight between Mike, Gary, Darren and Mark. So Josh is leading then. Somewhere down the line he got past Mark. And Mike struggling with keeping the back end straight there, and it's allowed K-Man Keireen Thomas to get ahead in the K-Tech Subaru. I think everyone's losing the ability to get round that final chicane in this final race. You can definitely tell it is race 3. People are pushing for those points. As Darren has got Keireen on the back end of him. Around here at Spa it's a much longer lap, so less laps to get round. Only 9. As Keireen stays behind Darren. Doesn't make a drastic move and keeps that 5th position, but Mike is close behind him. And Mike has got some speed and is looking to really attack Keireen here, looking very racy. Keireen is now on the back of Mark Nicol here in the Golf-backed Renault Megane. And as you can see, Mike is again pushing on the back end of Keireen, trying to get that 5th place. Keireen is focusing on Mark. Keireen has gone a bit too quick. Oh, Keireen and Mike have both gone into the corner too quick. And Keireen, unfortunately, has spun out Mark. And I think Mark has gone further down the grid. Yeah, Mark has gone down to 7th, just ahead of Tom in the other K-Tech Subaru. Yeah, unfortunately, Keireen did lose his braking last minute and punted into Mark, and the race steward will look at that as well. But as we see now, Mike Kuijpers has gone to the inside in the Mustang ahead of Keireen. So Keireen goes back down to 5th now. And he's actually got Sam Parker behind him. Keireen is busy in this race, very, very busy. In fact, Keireen has been very busy all throughout the weekend. Been in fights with Gary Black, race 1 and race 2, and is now under threat from almost everyone around him. Up at the front of the grid then, so leading this is still Josh Hardy. This is fantastic from Josh. He is dying to get his first win in that Zeta sponsored Renault Megane. And Zeta are an online team who are involved in various different esports, including Call of Duty. This is the first of the Gran Turismo teams. And so Josh is representing this team well here. Could get their first win. But Gary is behind him and he's not letting him get away. So let's follow on with Darren Parker here and watch as Gary is behind Josh, so whether they will fight it out. And it looks like Gary has got a bit of pace and he's going to try and get past Josh down into Eau Rouge. Look at that. Whoa, cars are all over the place, but he's managed to get the pace. I don't think he's got beside him. Here comes Gary. He's just behind Josh and he hasn't quite got it. He's got a penalty, so he slows down. And as we know, Darren is currently in 3rd, and if he gets ahead of these two, it will be his 2nd win of the day. I think that will be the first double win from a weekend in the series and in the season. Looks like he's taken a penalty there, but this is great from Darren. A massive points haul, and he's actually in 3rd position behind Tom and Sam, so this may push him ahead of both of them. But one thing it will definitely do is keep him on track in the battle for the title. Looking with Gary again. And it looks like he's got the pace here. He's got a little bit of speed. And he may catch up with Josh. This is a great three-way battle for the win, the final race here at Spa. The sun has come back out, the clouds have gone away. There was potential there might have been rain earlier on, but it wasn't to be. And Gary has made a brave move on the outside, but I think it's actually allowed Darren to get ahead. Oh, but he pushed him wide. Darren's had to settle for third, and this is fantastic now. So Darren is really looking to get that second position, and all the time that these two are going to be battling out, it's allowed Josh just to get ahead now. Have a bit more of a comfortable lead, as Gary was pushing for the lead at one point. Oh, what's happened to Gary? I think Gary's had to take a penalty. Yeah, Gary's taken a penalty. I think he's allowed Darren to get past comfortably without any issues. So Gary's down to third now. Still a very good position to be in after the first two races he's had. Further down we've got Sam, Keireen, in sixth we've got Mike, and then we've got Mark in seventh. Tom, who's struggling down in eighth on the hard tyres. Maybe not the greatest of choices to go last race, but he has had a first and a third so far. Much further down, Calum is having a bit of a nightmare and struggling, as are the VWs again. And I wouldn't be surprised if the VWs start to question their choice of car for this season, as maybe if they do enter next season they will rethink and choose something a little bit less underpowered. Back up in the fight for the lead then we've got Darren Parker, and he is very quickly catching Josh here. Look at the pace he's got. He's gone up at the inside. Is he going to overtake him? No, he doesn't. He holds back, rethinks the move. Gary's fallen back a little bit and is now actually under a little bit of pressure from Sam. Sam may be able to get past Gary. There is a lap and a half still to go, so still all to play for. Sam looking very quick in that Renault, but Gary is proving to be more consistent. There is one of the VWs again. Looks like struggling, maybe retiring again. Nothing but problems for the VWs here at Spa. Now look how close Sam is on Gary. Gary goes wide and he's in the rough stuff, so he's slow out. Oh, Sam nearly losing the back end, and he's right behind Gary now. This is a fantastic battle for third, a last place on the podium. Gary's taken a penalty, so that's allowed Sam to get into third position. And there it is. So it's a whoa, Gary is, well, I think he's holding back after that incident earlier on. So it's now a three-way Renault podium, but is it going to be Josh who's going to take the win, or is it going to be Darren who's going to take his second win as they go side by side down into Eau Rouge? Eau Rouge has proven to be fantastic for the races, and some overtakes We saw it with Tom and Darren in race 1. Darren nearly tries it again on Josh, but this time decides to hold back. And again, Darren really putting the pressure on on Josh now. And Josh is just holding on by his fingertips, defending really hard now to take that first win. Can he hold on, or is Darren going to pass him on the last few corners? This is great racing. There's the background there. We've still got Sam in third. Gary is not letting Sam get away, so Gary could push for third again. But there's just very few corners left now for Josh to hold on and take that win. So just a few corners and the last chicane to go then. Josh could get that first win, the elusive win, but no, Darren's looking quicker. He's gone wide. Darren's made a dive up on the inside and it's pushed Josh wide. Darren's leading then, but Josh goes back up on the inside again. There's a bit of contact and Josh, oh my god, who's going to take it? I think it's Darren. Darren's got the win ahead of Josh. Unbelievable. Sam will take third, Gary will take fourth, fifth will be Mark, sixth will be Mike, seventh will be Keireen, and then Tom will come away with eighth, Calum in ninth. But unbelievable. That is Josh, and he has had the win snatched out of his hands by Darren, who's taken a second win of the weekend. Maximum points for Darren then. And Josh, as much as he will take a great second position, will be absolutely devastated to have the win taken away last corner. And the elusive win still is in the distance for Josh. But he can't be too sad because the points is what counts. Let's have another look at this last corner move from Darren. Oh, Josh takes the dive on the inside. Nearly loses the back end. Oh, Josh comes back. And Darren just gets it. From Josh's point, as you can see, there's Darren in the background of his mirror. There's the dive, bit of a contact but nothing major. Josh goes really wide and then just can't get the power down, just can't get the power down. And that's what makes the result. A second win there for Darren at Spa. Josh comes second with Sam in third, Gary in fourth with Mark in fifth, Mike is sixth, Keireen is seventh, Tom comes eighth, Calum comes ninth, Sven and Nico come 10th and 11th, and unfortunately Shane doesn't finish.